This is Ben with bcacciaaudio.com, and today I'm going to work on the Boss number 2 sound effects for the Space Unknown mobile game. So I have a brand new Sunvox session open here, and I'm going to start with, let's start with the FM synth today. Patch that to the output. Alright, we got this default sound, but I want to tweak this. So let's bring the sustain down. And these sound effects for these bosses, for boss 1, 2, and 3 that I'm making, are the spawning sound effects. So when they spawn into the game, these are what you're going to hear. Alright, I like this dissonant interval and this fade in. Okay, let me put that in here. So I'll have 2 notes, and I'll just loop this. And I'll put note offs around here. Okay, and when I do this sort of sound design, I like to put a couple things in between, so let's put an amplifier at the end. We'll put in a compressor. And let's put in a distortion and run it through these. And we'll play with that signal chain a bit. First with the distortion. Alright, so I am going to export this sound as is because I like it. So we'll save project, and we're going to do, let's see, Space Unknown Sound Design. We're going to do one project for each sound effect so we can easily recall it and tweak it. So we'll do boss entry 02. I'm sorry, we're going to do boss 2 entry sound 01. And we'll click OK. And I want to export the sound, export to wave. And we will put this on the desktop, same name, boss 2 entry 01. Okay, we've exported that. So next, I'll save project as again. Select my previous name, and we'll do boss entry 02. This is a variation on it, and for this I want the distortion in there. Okay, and we will export that sound. And this will be 02. Great. Alright, so we got 2 sounds to start with. Now I want something totally different. So I'll save project as. This will be number 3. And let me play with this. So I'm going to get rid of what I have. Get that out of there. Okay. And let's try... That's an interesting sound. It's sort of a quick arpeggiation. I'll put a note off here. Same synth, just a variation on it. Let's try it with the distortion off. I like it with the distortion on, so we will save that and export this. Let's make this 3. Okay. And I want to experiment, so let's put a flanger in here. See what that sounds like. A little bit more of a metallic effect that I like. So we'll call this option number 4. All right, so we have 4 options already. Now let's try something totally different. So I'm going to get rid of the FM synth. And let's try, what's Spectre voice sound like? No, that's too... Let's shut these off. Alright, we need to go even more different than that, so let's get rid of those. Let's put in an analog generator. And let's try an arpeggiated pattern. And I want to speed this up. So let's save this as a new version as well. This is option number 5. And we'll go to our project properties. We'll crank up the BPM. Alright, that has an old school Pac-Man vibe. Let's try the distortion. Interesting. Let's take the vibrato and feed into that. note off at the end. About here. And let's try a pitch shifter. But we'll do the pitch shifter in parallel. Let's try just the pitch shifter signal. Alright, I like that sound, so we'll save. Export to WAV format. This will be option number 5. Okay. All right, number 6. So for this one, let's get rid of the pitch shifter. We'll leave the vibrato. Let's try the loop module. Turn on the distortion. Let's add in a reverb. And let's put the reverb before the distortion. That's sort of an atypical signal flow. Interesting sound. Bring that feedback down. Try an echo in there. Same thing into the distortion. Turn the feedback down. We'll save this one, export it out. This is number 6. Cool. And I want to start completely from scratch now for the other options. So create an analog generator, link it to the output. Well, sort of make my typical signal chain, which is the amplifier, compressor, distortion. Link those up. Save this session as number 7. Okay, and let's see what I can come up with. I like doing a dissonant interval for these for the bosses spawning in because it sounds foreboding. It sounds evil, like an enemy. Alright, we'll just start here. like the way that sound is, so let's tweak the attack. Alright, this isn't a low register, and I want that to be higher up so it cuts through on that cell phone speaker. So we'll bring it up an octave. We'll bring it up there. Let's turn on the filter. And we'll high pass it. Ah, yeah, it helps if I have that sustain off. There we go. And the goal is for these sounds to be about 1 to 2 seconds in length. I think I'm hearing dropouts. Am I hearing dropouts? No, no dropouts. Okay. So that's a simple sort of fade in, almost like a gentle cricket sound. I want to add another layer to it. So let's just call this noise. Patch that in, and we'll change the oscillator to we'll change it to noise, lower the volume. All right, I want to trigger these both simultaneously. So I'm going to use a multi-synth. Patch the multi-synth into both of these. And then I'm going to remap my notes from 01 to module 06. So I can right-click, choose remap, type in 06. And now this should trigger both. These notes will trigger both of these synths via the multi-synth. All right. And what did I forget? I forgot to shut sustain off. Just lower that noise even more. Maybe we can patch the noise portion. So I'm going to turn the filter to high pass, bring it down. There we go, that's better. Just so I have that high end element, and let's patch just the noise through. Well, let's try the reverb first. Alright, I'm not hearing a whole lot of that effect. Let's see what the vocal filter does. Interesting. So that's form and width. Let's try a different vowel. All right, I'm going to take this and let's actually just try raising the volume of the noise, because it almost sounds like a breath. All right, I like this. Good. I'm going to save it. And we will export this as option number 7. And let's see, can I come up with one more? We have this multi-synth going, so maybe we can try something with another parallel layer. So let's drag these out. Of course, we can try reducing the frequency. Oh, that's interesting. All right, let's add another layer. What can we do with the Spectre voice? All right, definitely have to adjust the Spectre voice. So let's bring sustain off, release way down. And I'm just experimenting with the settings. Well, let's see what we get with harmonic. Not sure if I really like it yet. Let's feed it through the wave shaper. So with the wave shaper, you actually draw in an envelope here. All right, let's try something else. Let's try an analog generator going into a vocal filter, and we will shut the sustain off, getting approximately the same attack and release. Let's turn on that high pass filter. And let's see what the vocal filter does. Alright, so we can probably get something interesting by manipulating the vowels. So if you right click, well, alright, I'll go over, I will select this lane, I'll right click, select right to pattern, highlight this, we'll duplicate it all the way down by using Control D. Right click, select XY level drawing, and I will just draw in some random levels and see what kind of sound that gives us. I'm not super impressed with it. It's something. Alright, I'm just going to keep stacking some stuff up. So let's do another analog generator. And we'll feed this into... We'll start off, we'll just feed it into the distortion. And let's add... Let's tune this one down. So let's bring the relative note down -12. That should give us an octave down. So we have that. We will shut the sustain off. Give the approximate attack and release. Cool. I will right click. Let's copy, paste, and this is going to duplicate the last analog synth we made. And I'm going to take this one and down tune it several cents to thicken up the sound. Alright, and I'm going to take this high one up here. Copy this, paste it, feed it in, and I'm going to bring this one up a couple cents. Oops. All right, let's save that. Export. This is 8. And I will file, save as, and let's just do an option with the distortion on, which gives us that crunchy sound. And we will save. Yes, save. Export, WAV file, and this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, number 9. Okay, cool. All right, so our work is done in Sunvox. Now we get to fly in. Whoop. Here's my screen recording software. We're going to go into Ardour, import in the audio. So I'll go to my desktop, select them, And we want to do 1 track per file. So not 1 track per channel, 1 track per file. As new tracks, import them in. Let me try something and see if this works. Check 1, 2, 2. Okay. So I just unpatched I unpatched my microphone from my interface from Ardour, because every time I create a new track, it patches the microphone automatically into Ardour. So I disconnected that and then patched it right back into the Pulse Audio jack source. So you should be able to hear me just fine. And now I don't have that doubled sound. So all our sounds are in Ardour, and I'm going to audition them one by one. So these have to be about 1 to 2 seconds in length, so I'm going to press the G key so I can grab. I'll select, well, not these two, those ones are fine. I want to select these guys, so just Control, click and drag, and I'm going to shorten them to, let's go here for these, and I'm going to apply a fade to the end of all of them. All right, we have 9 good options for the developer to choose from. So I'm going to save this session, we'll solo it, and let's just check our mastering chain here. So I've got, same as last time, I've got the equalizer rolling off some low end because we want to get rid of that. It's going to come out of a small cell phone speaker. And then at the end of the chain we have the CAF limiter. I'm going to raise the output of the limiter. Or rather, the limiting of the limiter. Just want to make sure I'm not clipping the screen recording, so I'm going to lower this a bit. Just a little bit more to be careful. And these sounds, so they fade in and they get pretty loud. And I want to compress these sounds. So I'll throw a CAF compressor in there. And I'm going to drag it in between the equalizer and the limiter. Normally I'd compress in Sunvox, but I didn't do it this time. But I think we can find something that'll work for all of these. So we'll lower the threshold. And let's do a little bit higher of a compression ratio. Make sure we're not getting any X runs. Okay. So that'll keep the level of the effect pretty consistent. It works for that. Works for this one as well. We can kind of see it at play. We're getting like -4 decibels of reduction. All right. Cool. And these should be good to go. What I'm going to do is export them one by one. So I'm going to hit the R key, select the range that I want to export, press Alt-E, This will bring me to the export window, and I'm just exporting them as 16-bit 441K. I'm going to send them out to this directory. I'll do boss2 underscore entry 01, and for a time span we want to do the selection. And we've exported our sound. And I already made a mistake. We want to solo this sound. Highlight the range. You have to select it before you do selection. And we'll just overwrite that. I'm sorry, not select it. We had to solo it. So we only got that sound. So now I'll solo the second sound. 02. Selection. Solo number 3. Highlight it. Alt-E. Number 3. Time span. Alright, this is 4. And again, there may be a batch export. I just don't know how to do it yet in Ardour. Number 5. Number 6. And this is that bug in Ardour that I've put on their tracker, so the developers should be aware of it, where you just have to switch back to selection after you export a couple of times. Number 7. Number 8. And one more, number 9. All right, all our sound effects are exported. I just want to listen to them again. I'm kind of curious what it sounds like if I reverse one of these. I believe if I select it, yes, I can choose reverse. That could be a whole other set of options. Let me see. If we reverse this one. I kind of like that. Let me duplicate number 8. Okay. So this is a duplicate. We're going to call this 10. And I'll solo it. And I will reverse it. All right, I like that. So I'm going to export that as another option. Call that 10. Session, selection. Good. And what else? What else would work in reverse? That one was alright, but I wasn't loving it. It's more of a musical theme. Is that what I'm thinking of? Yeah, the only other one that I think would work is 1 and 2. And most likely 1. So let's duplicate 1. That'll be at the end. We'll call this 11. And I will solo it. And let's go ahead and reverse it. Oops, I gotta select it, so I'll hit the G key, select. That's an interesting sound. Select, export, number 11. And selection. All right, there we go. So that is the set of sound effects, my options I'm going to give to the developer for boss number 2. I have one more boss left after this, so I will probably make a video for that as well. If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and visit bcacciaaudio.com for more tutorial videos.